What's up? What it do? Welcome back to the DC Blacks channel. Today, man, I was just gonna take some time out to talk about a subject and a situation that's in the news that kind of hits home with me. For those who don't know, I spent 17 years in prison. I started at Lawton, went from Lawton to Ohio, Youngstown. A lot of people heard of that. One day we'll touch on this, but on my man Kareem Moai channel, he touched on it. But we'll touch on it on some of my personal experiences on this channel later. But from Youngstown, I went to private prisons in New Mexico, Arizona. Then I started my federal, let's say, tour. I went from, my first federal prison was Colorado. From Colorado, I went to Leavenworth. From Leavenworth, I was shipped in transit to, Memphis, Tennessee. We stayed in a hole there, but we did go there for a minute on a bus load of 4. But nevertheless, I ended up going to Petersburg. From Petersburg, I went to Sussex, Virginia. From Sussex, Virginia, I went to United States Penitentiary, Lee County. And after about 4 years there, I was sent to a place called FCI Gilmer in West Virginia. But my whole point of talking about that 17-year travel through the injustice system is because I want to talk about juvenile justice and being charged as an adult, which brings me to the case of who we are talking about today. And I want to talk about a young man by the name of Baby K. I believe his name is Kaeden Holland. He's been all over national news and plastered on the local news. So we don't really have to use the word alleged anymore because he pleaded guilty to attempted murder in Prince George's County, Maryland. And he was 15 years old at the time. And a lot of people don't know that in the state of Maryland, you can be charged as an adult at 15. In the District of Columbia, under certain circumstances, you used to be charged as an adult at 15, but from what I'm reading now, under this comprehensive juvenile justice law, they have taken the age range to 16. However, they had alleged in the beginning that Baby K, his name is Baby K, that was his rap name. Like I said, his government name is Kaeden Holland. And on an afternoon last year in 2023, Baby K and 2 other juveniles at that time allegedly stormed a bus and beat another teenager. And they alleged that Baby K pointed the gun at the individual, once at his head and once at his chest. And just on a legal tip, in the state of Maryland, specifically in Prince George's County, if you even point a gun at a person, they're going to charge you with attempted murder. In this case, they charged him with 2 cases of attempted murder. They charged him with attempted murder for the juvenile who they alleged that they had assaulted. And they also charged him with attempted murder for pointing a weapon at the bus driver, who later told people about her experiences, how she felt as though that she was totally traumatized.
Seeing that gun jam and thinking that he was sitting in the seat directly behind me. Right behind me when they attacked him. When I saw the handle of that gun, the only thing I could do was call on the name of Jesus. And when I called on the name of Jesus, that gun jammed, and I saw those live rounds come out of that clip. And can't nobody tell me that Jesus, me calling on that name, changed that whole situation.
But the plot kind of gets a little thicker with Baby K because they painted the picture of it just being some juvenile delinquency, let's just say temper tantrum, but they alleged that Baby K was sophisticated. 2 of his co-defendants, we're going to charge them, call them co-defendants, which is what they were because they were arrested and charged as an adult. I want to say a day or so later, Baby K ended up staying on the run for a month. But as you look through the police reports and the trial, the courtroom documents, you know, it alleges that Baby K is basically accused of another murder in the District of Columbia of the sister of one of his alleged co-defendants. I mean, there's no other stuff on that, but the picture that the police are painting is that, you know, Shawty was a terrorizer and that he caught the case in Prince George's County, which he pleaded guilty to, that I want to speak about a little bit because that's kind of like I got a kind of a gripe with that. But I'm just want to make another point. But they made a point to say that they believe he is the person that's responsible for the sister of one of his accomplices in the District of Columbia. So I look back at, you know, what I could find on the internet for Baby K. And if you listen to some of his rap lyrics, You know, he has some knowledge of some things that goes on in the streets. For people who are maybe follow people who get in trouble, young people who get in trouble, if you read his case, although it doesn't have any connection or association to gang activity per se on a national level, but it reminds me of the case of Robert Yummy Sanders from Chicago, the young guy that, you know, was caught up in a lot of violent activity. And for people locally that may be from Washington, D.C., they may remember a young man we had here by the name of Turner. Shout out to 640. But, you know, juveniles that get caught up in the violent culture of the streets is not a new phenomenon to Washington, D.C. Like I said, in Prince George's County, Maryland, if you even point a weapon at somebody, they can charge you with attempted murder. And it's just hard for me to believe that you could give a 15-year-old that much time when no shots were fired. But, you know, the laws in Maryland are created by the Maryland Assembly, and that's their laws, and that occurred in that state. But just think about it, man. You know, you have people who have really shot people that don't get 25 years in prison. But there is some hope, because the United States Supreme Court has already ruled you can't give a juvenile life and life without parole for offenses that they commit when they're 15. And think about this point. I'm not trying to soften the blow for Baby K. You know, I know that any of us to get caught up in doing certain type of crimes, we got to be quote unquote held accountable according to the laws of the land. But the Supreme Court has already ruled that juveniles can't be treated as adults. But, you know, technically there's going to be a situation in Maryland, depending on how he adjusts to the prison system and how he does his time, that, you know, there are going to be other vehicles and avenues for Shawty to pursue early release. Now, remember, I think he's overcharged. He didn't even shoot anyone. The gun didn't go off. I'm not trying to minimize the matter of it, but let's just look at it. You have people that really shoot people. For an example, we could talk about me personally. I really had a second-degree murder at 16. I really got sentenced to 15 to life. I really did 17 years on it. So you telling me that I really had a second-degree murder where there was a loss of life? I only got 15 years, although I did 17. I got a life sentence, so technically in D.C. Superior Court, we could talk about that later. If they give you life when they give you an intermediate sentence similar, if they give you life, which is an intermediate sentence, 15 to life, you still have life. Just like George Jackson got 1 to life and he ended up doing 10 years and some months. That's what an intermediate sentence is. I got 15 to life. I did 17 years on that. But my point is that I spent 17 years in prison for murder. That's less time than they just gave Baby K. Something ain't right with it. And I believe that he's overcharged. Second of all, he was almost 16 when the Prince George's County crime occurred. Okay, so he was almost 16. At 15 or 16, he can't buy a pack of cigarettes. He can't get an alcoholic drink. He wasn't even able to give a driver's license. He wasn't even a driver, right? So my point, and you know, if you have a different thought, but please tell me in the comments, how could he have enough, let's say, legal maturity to say, I'm going to plead guilty to 60 years and y'all give me 25? I mean, if he's not qualified mentally to make other decisions in his life, how can we say that he's qualified to plead guilty to 60 years, all suspended but 25? Now, they said they wanted him to do his time at this Patuxent Institution in Maryland that has, you know, young men programs allotted for him, and that, you know, hopefully will change his life. Now, you know, I question that as well, but for sure, to give him 25 years to life at 16, almost 17 years old for somebody did at 15, no one got hurt. Like, you know, I'm not gonna say no one got beat up, but let's say they gave him 25 to life, 60 to life, suspended everything with 25, and no shots were fired. Like, I just think that's a severe sentence. And I believe that at some point in time, that sentence is going to get reduced after the case is not high profile. And, you know, I implore any guys that have a connection to him and to the Department of Corrections in the state of Maryland, man, you know, to reach out to Shawty. Like, Shawty's life is not over. You know what I mean? And even with 25 years in Maryland, you don't do the whole 25 years if all suspended with 25. So, you know, he will be back in society given Lord willing that he's able to not catch another case in there. Juvenile violence has been in the spotlight in the District of Columbia as well as nationwide. But I think Baby K's case is definitely a case for people who help juveniles, like myself and other people that spend a lot of time in prison. A lot of us came home and we work with the youth in the District of Columbia or the DMV area. And I think this is a young man that definitely needed a little bit more love and support. I mean, and we can't change every young man's values and decisions that they make. But if we could just help one, I think it'll help us a lot. But nevertheless, I'm gonna bring you some more about Baby K, Kaeden Holland, later on. Check out some of his music. It's on YouTube, Baby K 2800. Even his music is a depiction of certain things that he had seen and he had lived at a very young age. Remember, he was only 15 years old when the crime occurred. Drop some comments in the comment box. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know that you think something that a person does at 15 years old deserves 60 years and 25, all but 25 suspended. Free to real. Make sure you like the channel. Make sure you subscribe. I've been getting a whole lot of love from the other countries. I appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel and we're going to bring you some more information. Once again, I had to bring you this story because, like I said, it's a juvenile issue. And, anytime you're dealing with people under 18, it's been medically proven and scientifically proven that the brain is not fully developed. The Supreme Court has agreed. So with this being said, this extreme sentence, I believe that it's an extreme sentence. I believe that not only is it an extreme sentence, but he was also over sentenced. And whatever occurs with it, and had it occurred in the District of Columbia, it wouldn't have been dealt with in such a way at 15 years old. Catch y'all next time.
Tells us she's trying to move her entire family out of Prince George's County. Police are searching for the alleged gunman, just 15. That teen, who police have only identified as Baby K, is charged with attempted murder as an adult. Baby K is accused of trying to shoot and kill a 14-year-old on a school bus. But that's not all. Baby K is also the suspect in the murder of a 23-year-old woman in D.C. In another twist, sources tell WUSA 9 that murdered woman was the sister of one of Baby K's alleged accomplices in the bus attack. Police are actively searching for Baby K. We learned he actually stars in a pair of YouTube videos that have been racking up views. But as our Scott Broom reports, frustrated authorities have still not caught up to him.
In Baby K's music videos, he can be seen showing off a handgun with an extended magazine. A 15-year-old still on the run tonight after allegedly trying to kill an 8th grader on a school bus in Prince George's County and accused of shooting and killing the sister of a friend just 2 days after the bus attack. And the terror out there is real. The mother of the school bus victim spoke by phone to me today and asked WUSA 9 to protect her identity as she talked about her effort to raise money to relocate her family out of town.
We're living in fear. I need to get him as far as I can from this area, and we don't ever need to come back. I just want him caught and off the streets. He is wreaking havoc.
He showed me his chain, took it right off and quit.
Meanwhile, Baby K has been on YouTube all along, raps referencing carjacking and that Glock pistol. WUSA 9 has confirmed the 15-year-old is a suspect in the murder of 23-year-old Kaeden McCoy, who was shot in the face May 3rd inside this apartment building on Jamison Street Northeast. McCoy was the sister of a juvenile accused of being one of 2 Baby K accomplices that held the victim down during the school bus attack. The boys failed to carry out the murder because Baby K's gun jammed, authorities said. Authorities have not released Baby K's real name because of laws protecting juveniles. And WUSA 9 has not named any of the kids involved because of their juvenile status. The search for Baby K now includes U.S. Marshals. Law enforcement sources fear he may have the resources and the help to cross state lines. In Maryland, Scott Broom, WUSA 9.
And it was all caught on surveillance video.
Kaeden Holland was just 15 years old when he tried to shoot a middle school student. Randy Ayala is following the case for us this morning and joins us with the very latest. Randy, good morning to you. He's facing decades in prison.
Yeah, good morning to both of you. Holland, who goes by the name Baby K, took a plea deal in this case, and that deal included a 60-year sentence with all but 25 years suspended. So Holland, who's now 16, is facing 25 years in prison. That sentencing is scheduled for 1:30 today inside of a courtroom in Upper Marlboro. Holland, who was also an aspiring rapper, pleaded guilty to attempted first-degree murder and use of a handgun. The attack happened May of last year, was caught on surveillance video, as Wisdom mentioned, and that video shows a teenager holding a gun to the victim's head and chest while two accomplices hold down that victim, a 14-year-old boy in 8th grade at the time. The video also shows Holland allegedly pulling the trigger 3 times.